Good afternoon, students. See, students, uh, last spring we are doing. This is the third part. In the first and second part, we have discussed about Sahib, Sahib and his family, and many others, those who had shifted from Bangladesh to this country, and they have settled in the periphery of Delhi, and that place is called Simapuri. And all those people, mostly children, their source of livelihood was rag picking. One important thing that I told you is that for adults, the rag picking was a source of survival. Remember these students, this is a 6 mark question also. It may appear in your examination. For the elders, rag picking was source of survival. For children, it was wrapped, covered in wonder. Wonder means sometimes even if they get a 10 rupee note or something like that, they used to enjoy with that money. Now, see, students, though we know that every child has the right to education, and in such tender age, children should go to school rather than going for earning something so that they can survive in this world. But those children were unaware of all such things, and sometimes they even enjoyed that because they were with their group of friends, they were doing whatever they liked, right? It is only because of the unawareness that what education means. Saying this, I don't want to say that these children don't have any aspirations, right? These children have different aspiration and they also want to fulfill it. So in second part, we have Mukesh, and the title is he wants to drive a car. He wants to be a motor mechanic. Okay. Now see, before introducing to Mukesh and what his life is. The title itself is I Want to Drive a Car. And I told you about Firozabad. Why Firozabad is famous? Firozabad in India is famous because it has many small, you can say, cells, small rooms where glass bangles are made. Many people they are engaged in this profession, and this profession is carried forward to the next generation, generation after generation, that is family lineage. This you have to remember, students, to answer maybe 2 mark question or 6 mark question. Now we move on to the lesson, and this is on page number 17. Okay, yes, we have already studied that Mukesh escorted the author to his house, and he was proud of the fact because maybe his house was better built than the houses in his neighborhood. His father was able to build it, second thing. And then we were also introduced that there was a Bahu, means Mukesh's sister in law, his brother's wife, and she commands respect as Bahu. It is basically in the culture of our Indian tradition. And this daughter-in-law, she tries to cover her face, puts her veil. When an elder member of the family, male member especially, he enters into the house, she tries to cover her face with veil, right? So you have to remember this word also, veil, veil, which is very common in Hindi, that we call ghungat. Okay, now, so it is his karam, his destiny. we also believe that we get whatever we do. Okay, so it is his karam, his destiny, says Mukesh's grandmother, who has watched her own husband go blind with the dust from polishing the glass of bangles. This is again one of the hazards of working in a bangle factory. Remember, students, 6 mark question, what are the hazards of working in a bangle factory? This is one thing, that the dust, uh, there is dust from polishing the glass of bangles. Now, can a God given lineage, that means the profession which was passed from the ancestors, so that is called God given lineage, ever be broken? This was one of the questions. She implies, she even starts thinking, born in the caste of bangle makers, they have seen nothing but bangles, and how bangles are kept in their houses. Again, a 2 mark question or maybe 6 mark question. Born in the caste of bangle makers, they have nothing but bangles in the house, in the yard, in every other house, every other yard, every street in Firozabad. Spirals of bangles, and how the bangles are described. 2 mark question. Sunny gold, paddy green, royal blue, pink, purple, every color born out of the 7 colors of the rainbow. They lie in mounds, piled up. Mounds here means they are piled up one over the another, and in they are mounds in unkept yards. Again, yards, maybe a backyard, front yard, that is also called angan. They are piled on four-wheel handcrafts, that is pulled with the help of hands, pushed by young men along the narrow lanes are not very broad, and so they are pulled by the hand carts in the narrow lanes of the shanty town. Again, shanty here, student, by the uh, town itself is called shanty town. Otherwise, shanty town means full of slums. Here, this particular area has narrow lanes, very small houses. That is why the author has referred to as shanty towns. And in dark hutments, next to line of flames of flickering oil lamps, sit boys and girls with their fathers and mothers wielding, making pieces of colored glass into circles of bangles. They are trying to wield it. Okay, they are trying to make it with the help of a flickering oil lamp. Flickering, why this word is used as flickering? Because see, when we burn lit a lamp, the flame flickers, keeps on shaking or moving. That is called flickering. So again, the place, how the place is described where the bangles are made, it is dark. Okay, hut means small rooms where boys and girls of all different ages, means, and even in the age of going to school, they are sitting there, they are working with their fathers and mothers, they are making bangles. Their eyes are more adjusted to the dark than to the light outside, and that is why they often end up losing their eyesight before they become adults. One another hazard of working in bangle factories or making bangles is that these people who spend most of their daytime in dark, dingy, dark cells, dark rooms, what happens is their eyes, that is more adjusted to the darkness rather than the brightness of the sunlight or outside world, and that is why they lose their eyesight before even they sometimes they become adults. Now Savita, a young girl, the author is describing a few other people other than Mukesh. Just I will go through this paragraph quickly. Pay attention. Savita, a young girl in a drab here is dull pink dress, sits along an elderly woman soldering, making pieces of glass as her hands move mechanically otherwise means like a machine. Here it is means she was so much used to making bangles that even if she looks here and there, she talks, but her hands keep on moving naturally, mechanically, like the tongs of a machine. I wonder if she knows the sanctity of the bangles she helps make. Sanctity of the bangles. Sanctity of the bangle means that piousness, that bangle is considered in the Indian culture, especially ladies who are married. For them, bangles have a very pious symbol. The bangles are of pious symbol. They represent their married life. In other words, they represent their suhag. The author is wondering, does she knows the sanctity? See, remember this word sanctity. Sanctity word is also associated with sanctity of the workplace, worship place, like maybe temples, gurudwaras, mosques, churches. So the author says, I wonder this girl, Savita, she knows if she knows the sanctity of Bengal, she helps making. It symbolizes an Indian women's suhag, auspiciousness, again, the auspicious occasion, very pious, very holy occasion. So auspiciousness in the marriage, it will dawn, and the author thinks that it will dawn, dawn, dawn on her. Dawn, one meaning is very early morning. Here it will dawn on her means will she will come to know. So dawn on her, underline this, and this means when we come to know something new, that means that we have that meaning is dawned on us. Okay, so it will dawn on her suddenly. What it here refers to? What it means? The sanctity of bangles. Okay, reference to context question you will get, students. So be very careful. So it will dawn on her suddenly one day when her head is draped, covered with a red veil. Veil, I would tell the meaning again here. So maybe that sanctity of Bangle or the importance of Bangle in Indian lady, the importance of bangle for Indian lady rather, it will dawn on her suddenly one day when her head is draped with a red veil, her hands dyed red with mehendi, with henna, and red bangles rolled on her wrist. She will then become a bride. Like the old women who was sitting beside her, who became one many years ago, means the old woman became a bride many years ago. She still has bangles on her wrist, but no light in her eyes. What does this mean? Means she still was her husband still was alive, she had bangles in her eyes, sorry, bangles in her hands, but no light in her eyes because of continuously working in these shanty cells, in dark cells, in dark room. She had lost her eyesight, and then she says, एक वक्त शेर भर खाना भी नहीं खाया. It does not mean that they have not had food. The only thing what she wants to emphasize, this old lady here, is that these people do not even have meal up to their satisfaction level. Whatever they want to eat, they have. No, they eat just so that they can survive. Okay, and in this sense, she is saying that एक वक्त शेर भर खाना भी नहीं खाया. She says in voice which was devoid of joy, which was drained of joy, means all the joy and happiness was taken out from there. She has not enjoyed even one full meal in her entire lifetime. That's what she has reaped. That she had what reap, REAP, reaping. Otherwise, we reap crops, but here means she has earned while making after making bangles. This is what she has earned. Her husband, an old man with a flowing beard, big beard, says, I know nothing except bangles. Means the whole life is, you can say, enclosed only with bangles. So I know nothing except bangles. All I have done is make a house for the family. But one thing that he mentions here is that following bangle making profession, one thing he has done for his family is that he has been able to build a house, to make a house for his family to live in. Hearing him, one wonders if he has achieved with many have failed in their lifetime. So this is the condition of the bangle makers. When he says that he has been able to make a house, build a house, this shows that even there are many bangle makers who have not even been able to build a simple house for their family to live in. So just underline this. Hearing him, one wonders if he has achieved what many have failed in their lifetime. He has achieved a roof over his head. The cry of not having money to do anything except carry on the business of making bangles, not even enough to eat, rings in every home. I'm reading these three lines again. The cry of not having money to do anything except carry on the business of bangle makings, not even enough to eat, rings in every home. This cry rings in every home means this is the problem of every home in Firozabad who are engaged in what? Bangle making. Got it? Yes. So this problem is everybody's problem who is a bangle maker there. There means in Firozabad, the young men echo the lament of their elders. Even the younger generation, they are also echoing, repeating the same sadness, the same sorrow. They are lamenting the same sorrow of their elders. Okay, so to lament is to express sorrow. Little have has moved with time means hardly anything has changed with time even after 72 or 73 years of independence. Little has changed. Little means hardly anything has changed. So little has moved with time. Underline this. It seems in Firozabad, years of mind-numbing toil, mind-boggling, mind-numbing. Numbing here means when it is disturbing in mind. So mind-numbing toil, hard work have killed all initiative and the ability to dream. Even these people, they hardly dream. Dream means dream here. They hardly dream does not mean that when they sleep they do not have dream. Dream here means when we dream, when we aspire to do something in a life, that is what dream here means, that these people even do not dare to dream. It has that mind numbing toil, numbing hard work has even devoid these people even to dream or to think something else rather than bangle making in simple terms, right? So why not? The author just suggests, why not you organize yourself into a cooperative? I ask a group of young men who have fallen into the vicious circle of middlemen who trapped their fathers and forefathers. All these people, business, they do business because this is a business only, magnal making and selling them in the market. But they are not earning enough money. So the author says, why don't you organize yourself in a cooperative? The best example is Amul. Okay, I will not go into the detail, but people now who are engaged with supplying milk to Amul, they are earning nicely. I ask a group of young men. The author asks, "Why don't you organize yourself into in a cooperative?" I ask a group of young men who had fallen into the vicious circle of middlemen. Vicious circle that is not going to end. That is called vicious circle. They have fallen into the traps of middlemen, and not only these young men, their fathers as well as their forefathers, they have been trapped. Then the one young man, he answers that even if we get organized, we are the ones who will be hauled up by the police, who will be caught by the police, beaten, and we will be dragged to jail for doing nothing illegal. Sorry, we will be. He says that we will be dragged to jail for doing something illegal. I mean, this is the condition that he is lamenting, that even if we organize in a cooperative, we will be disturbed by the police, we will be hauled by the police, we will be beaten, and we will be dragged and put behind the bars, and the charge will be that we have done something illegal. This is what the young man is answering. There is no leader among them, no one could help them see things differently. Their fathers are as tired as they are, means the forefathers, the father, and the younger generation, they are all alike. They talk endlessly in spiral that moves from poverty to apathy to greed and to injustice. So, this is the vicious circle. What? How they are moving? They talk endlessly in a spiral. Spiral again means a circle that moves from poverty, poverty to apathy. Apathy means nobody cares about them. Nobody even think what these people are doing. Forget about sympathy. Sympathy is when we are able to recognize the problem of the other people. Here they are moving from poverty to apathy to greed of the middlemen and to injustice. Listening to them, I see two distinct worlds, two quite very different worlds. One of the family caught in a web of poverty, burdened by the stigma of caste in which they are born, the other a vicious circle. So, one are these people who are trapped, trapped in the web of poverty because they are burdened by the stigma of caste that is very much prevalent in our country. We are not able to do away with it. I don't know why. So these people are caught in the web of poverty, burdened by the stigma, that blemishes of caste in which they are born. The other, a vicious circle of sahukars, the middlemen, the policemen, the keepers of law, the bureaucrats, and the politicians. Two world, the bureaucrats, the politicians who could help them, but they are not being helped. This is what the author is saying. Together, they have imposed that baggage on the child that he cannot put down. That baggage, that heavy bag that has been put on the child, that instead of going to school, he is even engaged in bangle making. And before he is aware, he accepts it as naturally as his father. He even does not think of doing something else, and when he grows up to think, but before that he had naturally adopted that profession of being a bangle maker from his father. To do anything else would mean to dare, dare, dare. You know the meaning of dare, I suppose. So to do something else means do something other than bangle making, means to dare, and daring is not part of his growing up. When I sense a flash in it, flash in it means the author saw that Mukesh, he wants to do something else. He is rather daring up to do something else. Mukesh was there, so the author was cheered. Author was happy to see that this boy Mukesh, he wants to do something else. I want to be a motor mechanic, he says. He repeats rather. He will go to a garage and learn, but the garage is a long way from his home. I will walk, he insists. He says, no problem. Even he is ready to walk. That too, the garage was not very near to his home, but still he was ready, he was determined. He says, I will walk, he insists. Do you also dream of flying a plane? Again, the author asks, you want to become a motor mechanic, you want to drive a car, do you want to fly a plane? He is suddenly silent. What this boy? What will he answer? No, he says, staring at the ground. In his small murmur, there is an embarrassment. Embarrassment means obviously when you are very humble boy, very not from a very well off family, if you are trying to ask him whether he wants to fly a plane, so he was embarrassed. He was feeling shy, and that is why he was staring at the ground. So, in a very small murmur, there is an embarrassment that has not yet turned into regret, but he is not regretting or feeling sorry for anything else. He is content, he is satisfied to dream of cars that he see hurtling down, moving down. Hurtling here means going noisily or moving. So he sees hurtling down the streets of his town. He has seen many cars flying on the roads, hurtling, moving, noiseless, making noise. Hurtling basically means when something moves, making noise. So he has seen many cars hurtling down the streets of his town. Few aeroplanes fly over Firozabad. Underline this. It does not have only literal meaning. Literally, it means कि only few aeroplanes. Maybe there is no airport in Firozabad, so very few aeroplanes fly over Firozabad. The other thing is that people of Firozabad, especially this locality where mostly the bangle makers they reside, or where they have their colony, you can say, these people do not aspire high. They do not think other than become. They do not think to become something else, but to become a bangle maker. This was their family lineage. This was their profession. So forefathers, fathers, elders, younger generation, and even children, they were tirelessly engaged in this particular profession. So few aeroplanes fly over Firozabad. The author indirectly wants to say that these people also have the right to think something else, come out of the family lineage and follow their dream, follow their aspiration, whatever they want to become. And as government and other people, develop people, they should help these people. I will end with this, and I will give you questions on based on these chapter 2 mark question as well as 6 mark question. Okay, student.